This type of discussion, anytime I'm confronted with a topic like this, I have this nostalgic feeling.
Okay.
Because
I have a personal experience.
Yes, I was once a victim with the Bank of Ghana, like I told him earlier.
Okay.
Where, in fact, the processes started in April 2016. I was called for interview. I went through medicals, and then we were told that we should start. So, 3 months into the start of work, there was change of government. And immediately they appointed a new governor. We were told to hold on. We held on for 8 years. So when you look at situations like this...
So you didn't even start work at all?
No.
But you got the job?
Yes.
But you're told to hold on?
Hold on.
Because it's changing government?
Changing government. And the processes started in April 2016, bear in mind. April.
Okay.
That is the time that the NDC government was still in power. And they could not envisage that they would lose the election. I'm bringing you to the fact that, in principle, I disagree with the concept of recruiting people after election. Why? First of all, you know that the country had capacity to recruit. You didn't deem it fit to recruit them. It is when the die has been cast and the outcome is known, then you want to now populate your party people into government. That's the meaning. Number two, which newspaper did you see any adverts in any state institutions right after the elections? Which media did you see it?
But he says the process started before December 7th.
What process? We have all been in government and out of government. I am telling you, political parties should stop mortgaging the future of their political foot soldiers and the youth to outcomes of elections. Sometimes the outcomes of the election takes them by surprise. But they had promised people that after the election, we'll get you a job. The election is over. They haven't won the election. Yet they still want to give them the job. If you look at Section 7 of the Transition Act, it talks about giving a proper handing over notes to the incoming government. What are you handing over? The current state of the country as at that time. It means that the total size of your labor force, the wage bill, and all those things should be known. So what is the purpose of giving me a complete and comprehensive handing over notes when in January, before I'm even sworn in, the wage bill keeps on ballooning? What's the purpose of transition then? So that's what I'm saying, that if you look at all those things, you realize that the political class needs to take Ghanaians serious. In any case, the Employment Act or the Labor Act 2003, or it's been amended. You don't mind me. So what I'm trying to say is that it enjoins governments or state institutions to provide a fair grounds for people to be employed. In the SY administration for those government, there was that opacity in the recruitment process. You'll be there, a colleague or a constituent will call you, Honorable, some people are at a training for immigration. Or, Honorable, they've started calling people for police. Honorable, this. Or, I need this amount of money to get recruitment into the security agencies. When you want to sacrifice civil commitment, patriotism, to the altar of who can pay, that is what you always get. Competence has been sacrificed. So these days, recruitment competence is none. People don't value where the course you did, where you best fit in. It's about who you know or who knows you better and how much you can pay. When you do those type of recruitments, a new political government will come and revise everything that you did because you did not recruit them based on commitment. He mentioned that at their time, it was NSS that it happened. But I can assure him, Every state institution in Ghana as at that time got affected with the post-election decisions. Every. I know colleagues who called me for multiple, and as at that time, Dr. Issah Atta was still the governor of Central Bank. Something that has a fixed term, according to the Bank of Ghana's Act. He was forced to resign. So my point is that, yes, it shouldn't continue. This type of aggressive approach to dismissing people, I don't think is the right way. But government should also know that you don't burden the incoming government with difficulty in the wage bill such that the government will not have enough fiscal space. I don't support that, and I will never support it. Then my brother talked about...
Will it matter if the numbers are few? Say maybe 1 or 2?
No, so...
Will it matter?
Earlier, like I said, personally, I don't have problem with people getting appointment letters after December. Like I said earlier, some recruitment process takes some time. You go through a lot of processes. So a case can be made for such a person. So I'm not a person who is against that. Any letter you get after 7th December, automatically you don't qualify. There are a lot of procedures in some institutions that you have to go through. And I'm happy to, Chapter 5, he talked about human rights of the person. I'm happy he is challenging the decision of the Chief of Staff in court. It will enrich our democracy so that we will know whether the Chief of Staff...
I'm not sure if it's one of the things you're challenging in court. Are you? Are you challenging that in court?
I am. Well, so I want to do that both ways.
Oh, you want to do both?
One,
that's fine.
By way of judicial review,
okay,
to quash the decision, if you like, the revocations that has been done.
Okay, to make it null and void.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And secondly, to also go by way of a class action,
okay,
so that all those persons who have been
will be reinstated.
Will be reinstated.
Please go ahead.
Okay, so I wish you well in that.
In his endeavor.
Yes, I know. Though I'm not a lawyer, but I know it won't go far. It is the heat of the moment.
Okay.
When things happen like that, they expect a lot from their leaders.
Well, let's wait for the court to determine that.
Now, into the security agencies, ideally, we shouldn't encourage, especially state security. One thing we must avoid is politicizing state institutions. And so for me, I don't think political parties should interfere so much into our state agencies. Because one of the things that is still protecting this democracy is the judiciary and the state institutions that we have, the independent state institutions. So if we bastardize that one too, like we saw in the President Akufo-Addo's regime, a lot of them, sometimes the way they remove some of the heads of those institutions, you ask yourself, really? So now, even though we must not politicize state institutions, just look at our recruitment methods into the security agencies. Sometimes, when you look at the conduct of some of, we have fine gentlemen in the military, in the police, and all those security agents, but in recent times, I think in both political parties in recent times, appointment sometimes is purely on partisan lines. And it doesn't give that level of independence. It doesn't give that level of professionalism on their part. It makes them biased. So I think that the committee that has been inaugurated by the Interior Minister should do a holistic review as to how to strengthen the Ghana Police Service, Ghana Immigration and the Prisons, and the Ghana Fire Service in terms of getting qualified personnel to serve this country with dignity and professionalism. And I'm happy the incoming government is taking government efficiency seriously, because it is not enough for you to keep on adding numbers just to satisfy your political ends. It's not enough. The goal should be that we must do everything to transition properly into the global sphere.
Right.
Countries are now talking more, like Dr. Baumia used to say, people are now in the 5th industrial revolution. We are still trying to adopt the 4th industrial revolution. So my point is that we must try to drive government efficiency. And pardoning the wage bill will not help us. Currently, as we speak, the road sector has 200 billion Ghana cedis debt. Meanwhile, the total size of Ghana's economy is not up to. So when you have situations like this, one thing you should avoid doing is things that you do to increase the cost of governance. And on that note, I want to commend the Chief of Staff. It's long overdue. In fact, people get angry when they still see some people in office. And I am urging some people in political appointments, they are still serving, but in dignity and for their own good. They don't need to get the letter revoking their appointment. You campaign seriously against the vision of someone, and now that same vision you didn't believe in, you want to help implement those visions. I don't think it sounds right. So all the state institutions that are yet to be appointed, I know there are still the SY government appointees who are serving there. I don't even want to go to the legal aspect of it, but I know they should live in conscience and in good judgment.